And now I'd like to introduce another very special guest I know the parents will know. The greatest baseball broadcaster we know, Mr. Ernie Harwell.
Hi, folks.
Hi.
Hi.
So excited to have you here.
Well,
Mr.
good to
Harwell.
be here. Good to be here.
Good surprise.
What a good-looking group here. Good Tiger fans.
That's right.
Would you read Casey at the bat for us?
Oh, I'll be happy to. The outlook wasn't brilliant for the Mudville Nine that day. The score stood 4-2 with 1 inning left to play. And so when Cooney died at first, and Burroughs did the same, a sickly silence fell upon the patrons of the game. A straggling few got up to go in deep despair. The rest clung to the hope which springs eternal in the human breast. They thought if only Casey could get a whack at that, they'd put up even money now with Casey at the bat. But Flynn preceded Casey, as did also Jimmy Blake, and the former was a pudding, and the latter was a fake. So upon that stricken multitude, a grim melancholy sat, for there seemed but little chance of Casey's getting to the bat. But Flynn let fly a single to the wonderment of all, and Blake, the much despised, tore the cover off the ball. And when the dust had lifted and they saw what had occurred, there was Jimmy safe on second and Flynn a hugging third. Then from the gladdened multitude went up a joyous yell. It bounded from the mountaintop and rattled in the dell. It struck upon the hillside and recoiled upon the flat. For Casey, mighty Casey, was advancing to the bat. There was ease in Casey's manner as he stepped into his place. There was pride in Casey's bearing and a smile on Casey's face. And when responding to the cheers, he'd lightly doffed his hat. No stranger in the crowd could doubt was Casey at the bat. 10,000 eyes were on him as he rubbed his hands with dirt. 5,000 tongues applauded when he wiped them on his shirt. Then while the writhing pitcher ground the ball into his hip, defiance gleamed in Casey's eye. A sneer curled Casey's lips. And now the leather-covered sphere came hurtling through the air, and Casey stood a-watching it in haughty grandeur there. Close by the sturdy batsman, the ball unheeded sped. "That ain't my style," said Casey. "Strike one," the umpire said. From the benches black with people, there went up a muffled roar, like the beating of the storm waves on a stern and distant shore. "Kill him, kill the umpire," shouted someone from the stands, and likely they'd have killed him had not Casey raised his hand. With a smile of Christian charity, great Casey's visage shone. He stilled the rising tumult. He bade the game go on. He signaled to the pitcher, and once more the spheroid flew. But Casey still ignored it, and the umpire said, "Strike two." "Fraud," cried the maddened thousands, and the echo answered fraud. But a scornful look from Casey, and the audience was on. They saw his face grow stern and cold. They saw his muscles strain, and they knew that Casey wouldn't let the ball go by again. The sneer is gone from Casey's lips, his teeth are clenched in hate. He pounds with cruel violence his bat upon the plate. And now the pitcher holds the ball, and now he lets it go. And now the air is shattered by the force of Casey's blow. Oh, somewhere in this favored land, the sun is shining bright. The band is playing somewhere, and somewhere hearts are light. And somewhere men are laughing, and somewhere children shout. But there's no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey has struck out.
Well, let's give Paz a big hand for his performance.
Hey, let's hear it for Paul.
And of course for Mr. Ernie Harwell as well.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You know, we're all gathered here to talk about reading and reading this summer. Do you like to read?
Oh, I love to read. I think it's a wonderful thing. You can read, and your imagination as you read can take you to Africa, England, or France, or China, Japan, even outer space. You can be an astronaut, you can be a knight, you can go back in medieval times. You can be almost anything if you read. It's great, and I love it. And one of the great things to me about reading is you can do it anywhere. You can take it on a trip with you. You can do it in your bedroom. You can do it in the kitchen. You can take it out in the yard. You take a book on a picnic. It's a great thing. I love reading.
And reading takes you anywhere, too. And thanks for coming in and reading this story with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Enjoyed it, and enjoyed seeing so many wonderful people here.
Thanks so much, Mr. Harwell.
Thank you.
And thank you for sending in your stories, and for you at home, send in your stories as well. Thanks again. Goodbye.
Bye.